Hey everybody, it's Rook. Welcome back. First Digimon deck profile. Do not eviscerate me. This is the first one. I got a black deck that I've been using, as I mentioned in my openings in previous videos. I put together a black deck based on the starter deck and several cards from box openings and other packs that I received. And this is the deck that I've been playing at my local and remotely pretty consistently, and it's been doing well for me. So I'm finally confident enough to profile this deck for you guys. For those of you that don't really know anything about Digimon, don't even know where to get started with deck building, how it works, hopefully this profile will kind of be a jumping off point for a lot of you guys. I don't see too many Digimon deck profiles out there. I think the meta is still shifting, evolving, but I want to just profile for you guys what I have put together right now so you can see if it lines up with a deck that you're currently playing or something that you might want to play down the line. So let's go ahead and get started here. You have the eggs sitting on top. I'm going to kind of pull them off as I go, but we're starting with our eggs, which is going to be 3 Kapurimon. These are from the starter deck. This is the one with the inherited effect. While this Digimon is blocker, it gets 1,000 damage points. So a lot of the cards are going to be around blockers. There's going to be a lot of blockers in the deck. That's a pretty good gimmick for black. The two black decks that you really see right now are either heavy blockers or the D Brigade, which has all of the kind of militaristic Digimon. So 3 Kapurimon there, and then 2 Sumemon, which is a rare. While you have another Digimon in play with the same name as this Digimon gets plus 2,000 damage points. So this card essentially encourages you to have a pretty well-constructed deck of all the same Digimon, a lot of, like, maybe 4 copies of a lot of Digimon. So Sumemon is a good egg there, along with Kapurimon. That's going to be my 5. So eggs, going to be over here. Work in progress as I try and lay this out for you guys. All right, let's go into rookies. I'm just going to grab a stack. So we have 4 Commandramon. This is from BT4. This is from the Great Legend. This is on deletion. You reveal top 3 cards of your deck. You can play a Commandramon among them without paying its memory cost. That's really great if you're trying to rookie rush. I've heard that you don't necessarily have to run Commandramon rookies if you're playing heavy blockers, but I like it so far. You could do something like the Pukemon and Shumon and all those ones. But I like the Commandramon because it gives you kind of a secondary win condition. If you're not building up big blockers and big board controls that you want, you got the Rookie Rush option. So I have 4 of these, and of course the 4 Commandramon from the starter, trying to get as many opportunities as possible to get the Commandramon on deletion effect. Now that is on deletion, so you might not really see it at all, and there is a Commandramon I am missing, which is the one from BT2, which is a 2-drop play cost. So if I had to make any sort of amendment down the road, I would probably include those as well because they're great to just play for 2 memory. And of course, that's another opportunity with Commandramon to get in there. So that's a total of 8 rookies with the Commandramons. And then we go into some Toy Agamon. So we have 4 copies of the Lego version, and this has an inherited effect reboot, like that reboot, especially if you have a blocker. It really kind of allows you to attack with blockers, and then you're not all of a sudden sitting dead in the water on your opponent's next turn. So 4 Toy Agamon. And here are 2 Silver Lego Toy Agamons, inherited effect, end of opponent's turn. If your opponent didn't attack with a Digimon this turn, trigger draw 1. So this effect is really great if you have a field of good blockers and your opponent is afraid. I actually find that I'm getting this draw pretty consistently because my blockers are so large. If my opponent doesn't have any sort of D-Digivolve or anything like that, they're not going to be able to attack because I'm going to be able to block over them. So I'm getting draws here from Toy Agamon. So that is a total of, I think that's 16 rookies. Moving on to champions, we have the 4 Dark Tyrannomon. Yes, I did have to buy a second black structure for this, and the black structure only includes 2, but I wanted 4. The best part about this card, well, besides that it's a blocker, it's a champion blocker, 5,000, that's pretty solid. That's something we see pretty consistently, but also it is a 1 cost over a level 3, so I put it right over a rookie for 1, which is great. You know, those are some of the great ones. It's kind of really comes down to how you can use kind of 1 to 2 memory effectively, especially if you and your opponent are trying to kind of choke each other out like that. So Dark Tyrannomon, I have 4 copies here. Those are from the structure. And then here we go, another 1 drop over level 3. This is Tankmon. So there's no effect here, just another great 1 drop over level 3. Help me build my big guys pretty quickly. So for Tankmon. 2 Greymon. Greymon's inherited effect. End of opponent's turn. If your opponent didn't attack with Digimon, trigger draw 1. It's very similar to Toei Agumon, so there's a couple opportunities where if I have great blockers, I can get draws here if my opponent is too afraid to attack me. And then I have 2 Gardromon. So this one's kind of up in the air. I don't know if I want to change this one out, but this is just a good blocker here. It's a 2-drop over level 3, just like the Greymon there. And it cannot attack, but it is a 7,000 DP blocker for 2 on a rookie, which, is pretty good right now. So I got 2 of that. So I think that totals was at 12 champions. Did I actually Cut all the I actually grabbed all the champions in one. That was pretty cool. All right, moving on to ultimates, guys. They just get bigger and bigger. We have 4 Metal Greymon. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's next turn, one of your Digimon gains blocker. So this deck doesn't necessarily need to have every single Digimon in the deck have blocker. Because of something like Metal Greymon, it can assign blocker to Digimon that might have other great effects, but it doesn't have blocker. So Metal Greymon's really versatile there. 4 of those. Here's another version of Metal Greymon. What was this? This one was from, I think this was from Black Starter. This one is from 1.5, I believe. And this one has reboot. So reboot is unsuspend Digimon during your opponent's unsuspend phase. So, you know, this is great. This Metal Greymon can assign this Metal Greymon blocker, and it has reboot. Blocker reboot is a great combo. You like to see that in black. So I have the reboot there. There's 4 Metal Greymon. So 8 Metal Greymon total between 2 variations. And then I have, oh, those are the megas. We have 2 Andromon. That's a solid blocker. 3 cost over a champion, 7,000 DP blocker. So it's similar to Gardramon, only it can attack. So that's a pretty solid ultimate right there, you know. Like I said, kind of similar to Gardramon. It's up in the air if I want to keep these. If better stuff's going to come out, that's going to be easier replacements. But for now, here's great blockers just to keep your field scary so that you can get the draw 1 inherited effects off your Toyagamons and your other monsters. So there's 2 Andromon. That totals 10 ultimates. I hope I am doing this math correctly. Let's go right into the megas. All right, the megas are a grab bag, guys. The best mega you want to run is a card called Millenniumon. I do not have any of these in that deck right now, but I've when it comes to the megas, I have just got a grab bag of different ones, and I find that it's working pretty well, and it keeps the game fresh and entertaining. Obviously, that's kind of a flimsy excuse for if you want to be the best. I would definitely recommend picking up Millenniumons. But the War Greymon's pretty great, so this is a blocker and reboot. What do you know? 3 drop over an ultimate. 3 over level 5, 11,000 DP. Blocker, reboot. Fantastic mega. A Machinedramon. Actually, I think I have like 3 different Machinedramons here, so they all do different things. This is from the black structure. When Digivolving up to 2, your Digimon gain reboot, so you can reboot your blockers. That's great. 11,000. Machinedramon from 1.5. This has blocker, and on play you trigger D-Digivolve 2. This is where it gets scary with the D-Digivolve, because at this point, you and your opponent are probably building either tall or wide when it comes to a lot of Digimon or a couple Digimon that are super scary, and so D-Digivolve is super devastating when you get this far in the game. So blocker and D-Digivolve 2 really good for Machinedramon. And then I have the same effect. This is the very same Machinedramon. This is just the alternate art. So there's 2 there. And then to close out the megas, we have 2 Craniumon. Craniumon is kind of the reason that I wanted to build black, just because I pulled a couple of them pretty early on and decided that I wanted to go into the deck. So Craniumon is a solid blocker, and all turns your Digimon with blocker can't be deleted by your opponent's effects. So that's really great if the rest of your deck is pretty much blockers. So Craniumon is the boss monster that I like to try and get out the most. 2 there. That totals 6 megas. And let's move that away from the light there. Okay? Going into Tamers, we have a Tai Kamiya here. This is from the Structure deck, and this just has when you use blocker to suspend one of your Digimon, you can suspend the Tamer to unsuspend the blocker, which is pretty great. You know, so there's 1 there. The deck comes with 4. I just used 1. A Kiddo. If you have a Digimon with blocker in play, gain a memory at the start of your turn. There you go. Most likely always going to have a blocker in play. And then we have 2 Izzies from the Great Legend. And start of your turn, this is a memory fixer. So there are a lot of tamers out there where it says if you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3. So this allows you to always have kind of 3 memory to play around with if your opponent is trying to set you somewhere closer to 1, so that you're not using as much memory as they want you to. So this is a great one to have. I have 2 here, and on play you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and if they are all black, gain a memory, which they all are. So that's really great for Izzy. 2 Izzy. Closing out 4 tamers, and then we have 4 options. And by the way, tamers and options, it's kind of up in the air how many you want to play. It really depends on what kind of deck you're playing. Like 4 options might not be a lot to some people. So, you know, play around with how many options you want. There's a lot of great options for black. But I'm currently using 3 Laser Eye, which is just trigger D-Digivolve 1 on up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon. So that kind of cuts the board a little bit, which is nice. And it's only 4 memory. And then we have, you know, in case of emergency, we have the Infinity Cannon, which is trigger D-Digivolve 4 on one of your opponent's Digimon. This is going to hit the Omnimon or the Insane card level, level 7s that your opponent might have out in case of emergencies. And these have great security effects, as all of them have activate this card's main effect if they show up in your security. Also should have mentioned with the Tamers also, the security effects should all be, they're all play this card without paying the memory cost. So if any of these are my security, that's really great. And that is my black blocker deck right now, guys. So I think, what is it? It's like 17 rookies, 12 champions, 10 ultimates, 6 megas. I think it equals 50 one way or another. And then, of course, your 5 eggs to the side. After a lot of research and consulting with friends, this is kind of the flow, or the mana curve, if you will, of how you want to structure your rookies, champions, ultimates, megas, and then tamers options. So that is what I'm going with right now. And hopefully this was informative and insightful to those of you that are a little overwhelmed right now about all the Digimon product, and you might not have too many people to play with, the play test, and you're not sure how to build a deck effectively. Hopefully this is a great intro for you, and I plan on profiling some other decks to come as I get more confident in playing this game. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, Digimon crew. If you did, feel free to hit the like button. Enjoy playing this game. It's pretty fun. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.